Hey everybody. So a lot of people have been asking me for a response or my thoughts on Wizards of the Coast's OGL 1.1, right? That open gaming license. I'm sure by now most, if not all of you, have read and seen all of the drama unfolding about it. And though this channel has a pretty tight focus in that I'm just creating a character every week and not really talking a lot about D&D in a larger sense most of the time, nor D&D news, etc. I did want to show some solidarity and support for my friends and for the community and for the health of the game at large in stating that, yes, I think the OGL 1.1 that got leaked has a lot of really harmful and just bad verbiage. Now, I will say this, and some of you are going to be upset when you hear me say it. I don't feel like it's particularly controversial, but I also don't see a lot of people saying this kind of thing. So before you unsubscribe or give me a dislike on the video, I would just ask that you hear me out first. Like, philosophically speaking, I don't really have a huge problem with a publicly traded company who has intellectual property that is unique and fantastic as far as I'm concerned and really popular, wanting to make a little piece of the pie when a third party uses that IP, piggybacks off it, as a lot of third-party content creators do, to make a profit. There are very, very few companies in the world that would create something unique and fun and cool and really popular and profitable who would just say, hey, anybody who wants to can create something in this world that we've created and sell that thing, and we don't need to get any royalties from it, right? I do wish that the D&D community at large would just acknowledge that a little bit more. Don't get me wrong, OGL 1.0 that they put out years and years ago has done great things for Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro. It has helped them grow in a way that they otherwise would not have been able to grow, right? Had it been more restrictive than it was. And so I'm not arguing that asking for royalties now is necessarily a better business decision than just leaving it open. They've absolutely benefited from the fantastic growth that OGL 1.0 fostered. But asking to make a little bit as a royalty for others who want to use D&D doesn't seem particularly nefarious or greedy to me. That's my devil's advocate statement. The reality, of course, is that Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro have just gone so overboard with some of the verbiage here from 1.1 in a way that is just so punitive to third-party content creators that it just feels like they're obtuse or ignorant of how much they actually have benefited from OGL 1.0, right? Allowing other content creators to create stuff for D&D. And that feels... There's a lack of humility or acknowledgement there that's troubling. And yeah, it feels like they're moving to just squash and quell all third-party content creators. And that's what I think have so many of us upset. Specifically, the things that are most damning are, asking for 25% or 20% if they use Kickstarter revenue share on anybody who makes $750,000 gross. A company could raise $800,000 for a project and still not be profitable, right? So if they could change that to net and make the figure more reasonable, I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world. But then there's other stuff like, the verbiage that talks about how Wizards of the Coast essentially gets rights to your content to use however they see fit, whether your content is commercial or not, and they could use it to make a profit. Saying that they could cancel the agreement at any time for any reason with simply a 30-day notice. I mean, come on, Wizards. So much of the golden age of D&D that we've been in for these last few years really is a result of Critical Role, Stranger Things, not to mention Kobold Press, Humblewood Tales, and all the other really fantastic creators out there who are, because of the OGL 1.0 and the SRD, highly rewarded for creating fantastic D&D affiliated content. And 1.1, like I've said, just feels like an absolute failure on Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro's part to acknowledge that and to express gratitude for that. The original open gaming license created a lot of opportunity for a lot of people, myself included. I'm not ignorant to the fact that I too have benefited from the rising tide which lifts all boats. And Wizards has fostered a lot of goodwill as a result. And 1.1 just feels like they're taking that goodwill and trying to just trade it for a big bag of money. And I think unless they make massive changes to 1.1, and I think they could scale it back significantly and find a place that's kind of more of a happy medium between 1.0 and what we've seen. I know I'm probably in the minority there. If they don't at least do that, I think it will mean huge losses for them and for the rest of the fantastic community that's grown up around this game that we all love so much. And that would be tragic. So, Wizards, on the off chance that you're listening, I really hope that you will keep D&D open, truly open. Thanks. Love you guys. Have a great day.